and I'm going to give you the latest data on what's going on in the marketplace. And Thomas, is there anything you need to announce or anything, or just? Okay. Okay, so if you haven't turned in your form, let Thomas know. He's going around collecting the forms. Please join the REIA. If you need to pay for the $100, he'll help you with that as well. We even take cash if you want to pay cash. Okay, let me give you the latest market data. What's going on in the marketplace? Okay, this is the Texas roundup, and we'll get into the city-specific stuff, including San Antonio. The average price house in Texas is $423,000. It is down 1% from 1 year ago. Flat. The market is flat. The median price house in Texas, $334,000, down 1% from 1 year ago. Flat. But if you want to look at one number that's like the barometer, like what is the one number you would look at that kind of tells you what's going on in the marketplace? It would be this number right here, months of inventory. What is that? Here's how this is calculated. If you took all the houses for sale in the MLS and you said, we're not going to add any more. We're just going to sell what we've got until they're gone, until we're out of inventory, until they're all sold, so shelves are empty. How long would those houses last? The answer, 5 months, which is the average amount of time it takes to sell one house. Now that's average, right? Some are much faster, some are much longer. That's why they call it the average. Now let me put this into perspective for you. They say if there's less than 6 months of inventory, you're in a seller's market. If there's more than 6 months of inventory, you're in a buyer's market. So what kind of a market are we in here in Texas? A seller's market or a buyer's market? A seller's market. This is the definition of a seller's market. Now, it's not a hot seller's market, but it's a seller's market. So why and what's going on? Well, let's talk about what's affected the market. What's the biggest thing that happened over the last 3 or 4 years in real estate? Interest rates. What happened to interest rates? They went up. Okay, poll to the audience. When interest rates go up, how does that affect real estate? Right? Does it go up or does it go down? Let's ask. Who thinks when interest rates go up, house prices go up? Who thinks when interest rates go up, house prices go down? Okay, well, you're all right. They do both. Real estate doesn't really care about interest rates. Real estate cares about supply and demand. That's it, supply and demand. Now, when interest rates go up, yes, mortgage payments go up. Houses are less affordable, which means fewer people can afford them. So demand goes down. And when demand goes down, prices get pushed down. But remember, supply and demand, there's an offset. What is the offset? Normally, 2/3 of the houses that are for sale are resale, 1/3 are new construction. Right now it's inverted. How come people are not selling their homes? They should. The economy's not bad. People made money in the stock market. Most people have a job, right? People should be saying, honey, let's get a bigger, nicer house. But they're not. They're saying, honey, let's stay where we're at. Why are people not selling their houses? Because they got a 3% mortgage and they don't want to give it up. So all of that supply is being held off the market. And when you have less supply, what does that do to home prices? Pushes up. So we got things pushing down, we got other things pushing up. We got something else pushing up. Last year, California lost 500,000 people. Last year, Texas gained 500,000 people. Where'd they go? We know where they went. And then there's another 12 million people, we don't know where they went, but there's a bunch of them here too. And they all need a place to live. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we are in the middle of a housing shortage. Who's heard of this? We have 6 million fewer houses than we need nationally. And everybody needs a place to live, right? So we have a housing shortage. When you have a housing shortage, not enough supply, what does that do to home prices? Pushes them up. So we got things pushing down, we got things pushing up. So interest rates caused the demand to go down, right? But the migration made the supply go down. So when the demand goes down and the supply goes down, what happens to prices? Flat. And that's why the market has been flat. Okay, let's look at some of the city-specific data. Dallas, Fort Worth, average price 502, second most expensive city in Texas, down 1%. Median 388, down 3%, flat. 3.8 months of inventory. Dallas is the hottest market in Texas. And I'll tell you something why you might care. I don't know why, but Dallas has always been, for 20 years, the bellwether of Texas. Right? It's the first to go up, the first to go down. I have no idea why. But if you want to get an idea what's maybe going to happen next, you look at Dallas. It's always the first mover. I don't know why. And it is the hottest market. Lease prices in Dallas are up. When lease prices are up, does that mean the apartments are empty or the apartments are full? Full. Yeah, multifamily's having a hard time, but the apartments are full. Why are they full? Because everybody needs a place to live and everybody's moving to Texas. We're not building enough houses. So the apartments are full. Austin is the most expensive city in Texas. Average price house in Austin, $573,000. That's the average house in Texas, Austin, Texas. Down a little bit. Median price, $428, down a little bit. 4.8 months of inventory. San Antonio is the most affordable city in Texas, major city. $374,000 average, down 1%. Median price, $217. Wow, you can get a house for a song. Buy them all, right? Hold them for 20 years. Trust me, you'll thank me in 20 years. Median price houses in San Antonio, they're so cheap, they're actually up a little bit, but basically it's that. Now, San Antonio does have the most inventory, 5.8 months. Just barely a seller's market, but it is a seller's market. And then we have Houston. Houston is exactly like not like Dallas, like the state. Houston follows the state. Dallas is the first mover. Houston is kind of the last mover. I don't know why, but it's kind of how it goes. Okay, market drivers. What's driving real estate? Well, the economy drives a little bit. Now, not a lot. Real estate doesn't care much about the economy. You think it does, it really doesn't. I'll give you an example. During the Great Depression, real estate prices went down a whopping 6%, like nothing. During the Great Pandemic, 1 in a 100-year event, real estate prices went up 30%. Right? It's not the economy. It's how it affects supply and demand. But there's a little bit of correlation, like consumer confidence, kind of right in the middle right now. It's not really up, not really down. It's kind of in the middle, slightly down, but not much. Unemployment, we got solid employment in Texas, so that's good. Job growth, really good job growth in Texas, best economy. Stock market doesn't really affect real estate, except that when people make money in their IRA or 401k, they feel wealthier, right? So they're a little more likely to buy real estate. And the stock market is doing pretty good. Business growth is great in Texas. We have great business growth. Affordability. Interest rates, they went up. Affordability's gone down. So that's a red pushing prices down. Green things push prices up. Red things push prices down. House price trajectory, yellow, push sideways. No, doesn't really affect it. It's really flat. Supply. Let's talk about supply. Active listings, flat. Months of inventory. Slight seller's market, but kind of flat. House permit trajectory. This is a big one. We're not building enough houses, and we need to be building more houses, right? We're just not building enough houses. People keep moving here. People keep having babies. We don't have enough houses, so that's pushing prices up. And then there's construction labor growth. That's a talk. Look, the average general contractor is 58 years old, and the average keeps going up. They're dying off. They're not getting replaced. So if you have a young person, don't send them to college. Buy them a hammer. Okay, buy them a hammer. I know some plumbers making $1 million a year. Plumbers making $1 million a year. Okay, then go to college, study something stupid, right? Get a bunch of student debt, get a job working for a jerk, making $65,000 a year, or they can become a plumber right now and make $1 million a year. You choose. I went to college. My parents went to college. My grandparents went to college. I have a 16-year-old boy. I could care less if he freaking goes to college. If he wants to go to college, we'll send him to college. But yeah, or we'll make him a plumber. Demand. Price trajectory flat, closed price trajectory flat, pending sales trajectory flat. But this one here, this should really be a bullet this big on the page. Migration. What is migration? Migration is the number of people moving in versus the number of people moving out. People keep moving to Texas. They need a place to live. We don't have enough houses. And as long as that keeps happening, which is probably going to be forever, we got upward push on prices. And then we got some wild cards, a little war going on, tariffs, immigrations, whatever. So I'm going to give you the forecast. This is the forecast. And by the way, I didn't make any of this data up. All of this data comes from the Texas A&M School of Real Estate and a bunch of online resources. I just report the forecast. I don't make the forecast. But I will say this, the Texas REIAs has been doing a forecast for 20 years and is pretty much always spot on. And it's not because we're smart. It's because it's not that hard. Predicting the economy is hard. Predicting the stock market, impossible. Predicting real estate, not hard. And the reason it's not hard is we know almost everything you need to know, supply and demand. We know how many houses we have. We know how many houses we're building. We know how many people are having babies. We know how many people are dying. We know about how many people are moving here. We know how many houses we're going to have. We know how many houses we're going to need. We know everything. We're not sure exactly what interest rates are going to do, but we kind of have an idea about that as well, right? So we know just about everything. And that's why it's not that hard to forecast real estate. So here's the forecast. If you were expecting some exciting market crash, that was probably it, and there wasn't much to it. The crash was flat. We do expect interest rates to decrease a little bit. Trump's guy gets in May. The new federal chairman is Trump's guy. Trump basically put a gun to his head and said, you will lower interest rates or else. And the guy says, yes, yes, I agree. So we're going to get some interest rate reduction. And it should juice the market a little bit. But honestly, we don't expect it to juice the market a lot. Our anticipation is that by the end of the year, prices will be up 1 or 2%. So it'll be up a little. So to kind of summarize this, though, look, sometimes it's easy to buy and it's hard to sell. Sometimes it's easy to sell and it's hard to buy. It's never easy to buy and easy to sell. But I got to tell you, in this market, it's not that hard to buy and it's not that hard to sell. We're kind of right in the middle. And that's exactly where you want to be as a real estate investor. Interest rates, 6.5%, that's normal. Everything about this market is right in the middle. When you look at those 12 strategies, which 12 strategies do you use now? The answer is yes. Everything works now. And I've been teaching this stuff for years. And my dad is like, who are all these people that you teach real estate? Like, well, it's mostly middle-aged guys that hate their boss, right? I mean, it's like, which is everybody at some point in their life, right? I mean, at some point in their life, everybody's like, I want a better life, and I'm not going to get there working for a job. But what's fascinating is if you come to this room when the market is red hot, there'd be 200 people in the room. We've had this room with 200 people in the room, right? Dumbest time to get in is when the market is at the top. And that's when everybody wants in, right? When the market's cold, nobody wants in, which is the smartest time to get in. The market was cold, it's warming up a little, but it's a great time. So you guys are in the right place at the right time. Congratulations. I don't need to tell you that because you're already here. But this is a great time to be a real estate investor. It really is. And I'm telling you that as a guy who's been doing this for 23 years. So did you guys learn a lot tonight? Yes. Awesome. Any questions at all about anything we talked about? Real estate, market, anything? Any questions at all? Don't be shy. Me too, I'm ready. Any questions all about market strategies? Anything you learned? Anything at all? Yeah, go ahead.
The part where you said you could use your IRA, was that a self-directed IRA?
Yes. Yeah, you have to have an IRA from a company that is called a self-direction IRA, directed trust. One of our vendors is that. They'll set it up for you. But yeah, if you have your money in Schwab or Fidelity, it is perfectly legal to invest in real estate, but the big IRA companies, Schwab, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, they just don't do real estate, right? All they try to sell you is equities. That's just all they do. So that's the only thing they're set up to do. Even though they can do real estate, they just don't, right?
So the mortgage payment goes straight to the IRA?
No, the IRA pays the mortgage and the rent goes into the IRA.
Oh, there.
Yeah, yeah. But that's how it works, yeah. Money just flows through the IRA.